Good morning and good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dulender, and welcome to Stories, the Path of Destinies. I got this game yesterday, and I'm so excited. I played like the first 5 minutes, and it's so fun.
Once upon a time,
just listen, just watch.
The infamous rover
Skip if you don't want to hear the dialogue
plundered the
in the
floating
intro.
isles.
Somewhere.
Then
I'll put a link.
his mother called him to her deathbed. "Swear to me that you won't die on the gallows," she rasped. Reluctantly, he swore. And he whiled away his days at home with music, cards, and wine. But the Emperor had changed.
He was a frog.
He'd been good once, a shy, almost humble toad. He'd built universities. But then people started whispering about mass graves in the woods, midnight rituals, victims screaming. The Imperial Ravens would round up entire villages, and no one ever returned. The Ravens had come to Ubar scouting for ancient books said to be of great power. But the librarians had hidden the books, so they'd burnt the librarians. The citizens, outraged, had driven them off. The Ravens had come back with dropships. The kid had fled with one of those books. He was brave and dumb and wanted to join the rebellion. And Reynardo had promised his mother he'd protect him.
We are Reynardo. Yeah, that's right. We have an Ando at the end of our name. Ooh. Fancy dancy. So, let me just get into something real quick. I know Halloween is coming up, and when I mean coming up, I mean tomorrow. So I've got a horror skit coming up pretty soon. It's going to be a little while, sadly, past Halloween, but it's going to be with Zareth and Rooster. It's going to be super cool and scary. I also got a game, horror game. I don't know what it's called. I think it's like Border. No, not Border. What's it called? I don't remember. Y'all know in the future. It's a really cool game. It's very popular. It's been out for a little bit. And then I also got this.
The kid
So we're
was
gonna play all
looking
of them.
down, watching his city burn.
Oh my God.
Sorry, kid. Reynardo told the kid. Look, if we give them the book, they'll leave you alone. My mother died for this book! I promised her I'd protect you. Oh, damn it. The kid had run off. With the book, of course. So Reynardo had to run after him.
Okay, so this is just super cool. So the gameplay is a little weird, but you got like slicing and stuff, and you use your mouse cursor to run around. Ooh, that's sensitive. There we go, that's better. And it's super cool. It's just this narrative. You get like a bunch of choices. You get to kill monsters and stuff with your sword. And you get like these special moves and stuff.
The two ravens were staring at the kid like he was their dinner, which probably was what was in their tiny brains. Hey, Reynardo said. They cocked their heads at him. Pick on someone as ugly as you. Wait, that didn't come out right. For the Emperor! The ravens cawed and rushed at him.
There we go. Nice. Oh dear. Yep. Okay, I got this. I remember this. Path of Destinies. So you can basically, like, when they attack you, you can take them out, and they at least expand it and stuff. Kind of like Assassin's Creed, like where you can counter them. Or Arkham.
A
Oh,
dropship
so cool.
flew overhead.
I like the graphics.
He hoped they hadn't noticed him. The kid.
Yep, gotcha. This. Hey, buddy. Bye-bye! Bye-bye! Nice fall.
Oh, right. The Gate of Heroes. Someone's idea of a joke, making the Skyship docks a gated community. You needed a hero's sword to open it. And the kid was on the other side of the gate.
How did you do
Who
that?
let you through?
Exactly.
Promise me you'll take the book to the rebels. Or I'm gonna steal your ship. I'm not taking that damn book anywhere. And neither are you. Try and stop me, laughed the kid. I bet you don't even have a hero's sword. And with that, the kid hopped away.
Senses.
Had to hand it to the kid. He was an idiot, but he had guts. Where was Reynardo going to get a hero sword?
Right here, conveniently.
War and Wind, Essen? Perfect.
Indeed. Alright, so we got a bunch of stuff here. Next.
A hero sword. QED.
Awesome. Got our sword. Woo! Done this already. I love it. But we gotta get working here. We got limited time. It's already been 5 minutes.
This is what he got for settling down and finding people to care about. The kid's mum had been a swell cook, and she'd laughed at Renado's jokes, even when he didn't know he'd made one. And the ravens had come to burn her. And she'd made him promise to protect the kid. But she never told him where the book was. Just the kid.
This reminds me of like Warrior Cats, that book series.
He came up to a ledge.
Like
it was too far to
it's
jump.
Animals, but there's like this.
There'd been a bridge here before, hadn't there? And there was Peter, giggling at him. How'd you get across?
What is it, owl
he asked the
warriors?
kid.
No. Owls are
Where'd you
cool.
find a hook?
Yeah, like where there's
I
a lot of
harped,
fighting and stuff.
said the kid. Wise-ass
But
kid.
instead, there's cussing in this.
Hey, look out behind you!
Oh dear.
Cute, said Renato.
Cute.
Oh, ravens.
More ravens. Alright, we got this. We got this. Let's kill them. Alright.
It was time to talk some sense into the kid. Just hook his way across the ledge and chase the kid down. Thing was, he hadn't used his hook since he'd retired.
I remember how to use it.
Maybe if he meditated at that altar there, he'd remember his old skills.
Yes, maybe. Yep, I understand. Woo! Thank you.
It was starting to come back to him.
Yeah.
Something you never completely forgot. Like how to freeze time when attacking. The more he fought,
Okay, did
the
you
more
say
he'd
freeze
probably
time?
remember.
That's awesome! Oh, there we go. Okay, so I don't even need, like, WASD. I have it by, like, just kind of memory. I'm like, oh, I feel obligated, even though this game has nothing to do with WASD.
And there was the Farfarer. No! Peter! The kid ran for it.
Sorry.
And a goggler nailed him with its ivy.
Wow, that's scary. Alright. Forgot how to use okay. Right, nice.
The book was unburned. Next to it were the buckles from the kid's shoes.
Poor kid.
And a kid-sized pile of ashes.
At least the book
Damn
wasn't
it.
destroyed.
Why hadn't he lied and told the kid he'd take the book to the rebels? The kid would be alive now. Really pissed off and betrayed, but alive. Oh, damn it. Renato picked up the
Damn,
book.
it's rotten.
He couldn't let the Empire have it now. He was going to have to get it out of there. He'd be a wanted man. Probably have to join the rebellion just to have a place to dock. Well, he'd hated home life anyway.
Going out of retirement.
What was the big deal about this book anyway? Maybe he should open it and find out.
I think that's where our adventure
All that
starts.
had been years ago. How many? The war was a blur. And now 3 Raven scout ships were chasing him. Where are you running, rebel? Cawed the Raven captain over the loud hailer. Renato could see them cranking up their catapults. Just going out for milk? Renato yelled back. Where can you run? Laughed the Raven horribly. Far behind him, another city was burning. The dark cloud above its island was thousands of Imperial ships.
Creepy.
The fleet was doing a thorough job.
Take us to the rebel base! I will spare your life!
It called. The entire jury-rigged rebel fleet was only a few islands to the east. Beyond that were only the pillars of heaven. A sea of endless blood-colored tornadoes. The rebellion was out of time. Unless Renato could bring a game-changer. Maybe he could. Renato had found out where he could find the pieces of the Sky Ripper. The legendary weapon that had exiled the lost gods. Surely a legendary weapon could win the final battle. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino had sent Renato a desperate message saying he had a brilliant scheme to save the rebellion. If Renato could
this
only
is where we
rescue him.
decide.
Renato dived the Farfarer towards the abyss. As he felt the heat of the jet stream, the Raven ships peeled off, not stable enough to follow him down there. Now it was time to choose. Lapino or the Sky Ripper?
Okay, there we go. Okay, you can't make new old friends. Rebellion was at a time and Renardo needed a game changer. Even though Lapano wasn't anyone who would consider a game changer, he could come up with some hard-brained schemes. Harebrained. Fun. Maybe rescuing him was worth it. Oh, he needs in rescuing? In need of it? Well, I was gonna pick the sword just because I was like, well, it's better not to get friends involved because they could get hurt. But if he's in rescuing, like, need, then dang it, like, we gotta do that. Rebellion was at a time and Renard needed a game changer. An ancient artifact that defeated the lost gods was in need of being, Flo would indeed be a game changer. Though it was split into two pieces from many years ago, Renardo could rebuild it for the first, by getting its archer. Okay, well,
Lapino.
come on, friend.
Apparently, the Mad Rabbit had sold a Pegasus that he did not exactly own.
If you guys want me to pick the other one,
Lapino always wiggled out of trouble, given time.
I can go back.
But he was out of time.
Whatever restarted.
The Ravens had figured out that Lapino was a rebel spy. If the fleet reached him first, they'd string him up for that. Never mind the winged horse. Lapino had apparently managed to confuse the judge by arguing that he hadn't actually stolen a winged horse. He'd only sold it. But wait, where was the prison? The village was empty. Had everybody fled the Ravens? Renado's blood was up. He just needed to smash something. Can't we just agree to disagree?
Aye.
Said Renato. No?
Oh, wait, did I just block that? No, I think not. Oh,
Ravens were landing everywhere. The advance guard. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lapino first, they'd eat him for breakfast.
Oh, no, God, did
Or
we miss all
a
this
snack.
other content?
Ravens weren't picky. If they got hungry, they sometimes forgot to interrogate their prisoners. Even top spies like Lapino. Where had the Mad Rabbit got to?
I don't know what this other, the other stuff I saw is, but that sounds cool too. He's so cool. I like this style. It's like all above.
Renato felt like he was ready to learn new things.
Exactly.
It was
And I am.
starting to come back to him.
Okay, control.
Something you never
and then
completely forgot.
dashing can
Like
stand
how to
up.
freeze time
So
when
that's
attacking.
introduced now.
The more he fought, the more he'd probably remember.
Look at that. So cool. All right.
Come over here.
Wait. Hey, no. Okay, you said. Oh, never mind. Okay, never mind. I thought I could just choke him forever. Just do that. Okay, cool. Giddy, yay. Let's go. I'm hurt. That's not good. Ooh, dark land.
Renato felt a chill run down his back.
Surprise.
Oh, possibly a flea.
Didn't feel it. Next ability is going to be. I probably shouldn't waste them too much.
Dirty and bloody, Renato finally reached Lapino. The rabbit was practicing his shuffle. Bernardo recognized the cards. It was Lapino's favorite deck. Oh, I thought you were in danger. I am. The ravens are coming. Oh, the prison thing. Right, yeah, we see this guard owed me 53 ducats, so we made a deal. They're very reasonable people, actually, for weasels. Now, I got a brilliant plan to kidnap Zenobia. We capture Zenobia,
Not only did
we
you
find
trick
out
our
what she
main
knows,
character, you tricked me.
and that's the whole war right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
We could have had a god
Capture
sword.
the Emperor's greatest general, who also happened to be a deadly sorcerer and, oh, his only daughter. That would be worth it. On the other hand, he could still get to the core of the Sky Ripper, even if he couldn't get the whole thing. It must have great power.
Alright, what's going on there? So now they're giving us options to go back. Okay, so pay a call on Zero and we're back together, but gain changes save rebellion. Maybe Lapino was right. Maybe they should kidnap the Emperor's only daughter and the greatest general. Is this gonna be like a love story thing? Haha, so romantic. I'm getting that story.
To make the Sky Ripper, the transcendent Emperor had wrapped an armature around the eye of a god. Bernardo had already let that armature slip away
We'll go
to
back to
save
the princess
Lapino's
if you guys
life.
want me to.
But even
do it for
its
you.
core, the eye torn from a god, surely they could fashion a great weapon from that. The core of the Sky Ripper? Lapino's excited. That's an actual thing that we can just go and get.
I know.
You've been busy.
We almost lost.
He sure had.
You know.
Renato
Ew.
told him all the things he'd been up to. Soon they got to talking about old times, about wages they'd won and lost, and scrapes they'd barely got out of. It was good to be back with his friend.
Yeah.
Renato grinned.
Even if I hate him. And
He had a
gets me
very
into
good
trouble.
feeling about this.
Sarah, rooster. Assholes. Sorry, guys. Okay, but we missed so much. Oh, I didn't realize. Unless we're on the same
It's
area.
beautiful here, thought
Oh,
Renato.
there's so much.
He was
we
thrilled
missed.
to be back with his old war buddy. He'd missed the mad rabbit, but something was not quite right.
It was pretty, but it's deceivingly pretty. Alright. I don't want to miss anything. One lovey-dovey thing.
Who needed bridges anyway?
Yeah. It's like the secret way. With the happy chest. What is this? Oars? Oh. Whoa, that's cool. What did that do? It teleports back. I knew those things were useful. I love this. Oh. Where are we going? Where are we going? Oh! Happy chest. We gotta find
Sweet.
ourselves a
You could use this
build here.
material to craft a spork. There was something sour in the air. Like the earth had ruptured over something that had been fermenting for a very
Okay, we're
long
getting all
time.
these chests, but we're like, what's the use for it? There's plenty of monsters. I mean, hey, like, at least I'm not dying. I'm already low on health. I want a new sword, guys. I want a new sword. Oh, there you are. Get over here.
Where did that go to?
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Combat.
Renato felt wrong all over.
Why?
He could feel an almost palpable sickness in the air. And if the land could have tumors, they would look like these monstrous crystals. The forest was quieter
something.
than it had been. There were insects, but few birds, if you didn't count the ravens. Renato smelled sick animals and dying
See,
ones.
how do we use this?
No healthy ones.
I don't know how to use it.
And getting a bad feeling about this, Renato thought. Maybe Lapino was right. Maybe they should have kidnapped Zenobia instead of coming here.
Oh. Well, you may be correct. Party pooper. Okay, attack immediately. So how do we do that, man? Oh, is that like my counter, but it's like an improved look on it? Okay, I like it. I like it. What's going on here? Ah! My brain! Ah! So stupid, I keep banging fancy stuff. Alright, let's go. Alright.
It was all coming back to him.
I'll get good at this.
He wondered what he'd remember next.
But I'm becoming a master already.
As he held the radiant icosahedron, Renato felt queasy, like dozens of tiny worms were nibbling his insides. It wasn't healthy to be so close to the eye of a god. How could he use it? He could take it to the observatory. The scientists there could tell him how to harness its ancient power. But honestly, Renato ached to get away from it. He brought the core back with him to the Farfarer. But honestly, Renato ached to be rid of it. "Tell you what," said Lupino. "I'll take it to the observatory. You attack the Imperial outpost." The Imperial outpost was a vital communications node. Taking it could shatter the Empire's ability to coordinate. And it would be full of secret plans and maps and maybe even rebel prisoners. It was a good target for a hero like Renato. But what if Lupino got the core and then broke it or lost it? Or worse? Was Renato ready to take that risk? Maybe it was better if he brought the core to the scientists himself.
Well, I trust my friend. I think he can do it. And perhaps I have a theory, and this is me just guessing. I don't know anything. What if the princess is actually here, and the place we were originally going to go get the princess was a decoy? It's like Princess Peach in another castle. Let's do
Trust
it.
me, Renato, you won't regret this.
Yeah,
I'll treat the
hope I
core
won't.
like it was my own baby daughter. As the Farfarer dived towards the Nexus, Lupino was jumping up and down with excitement. "Stop rabbiting around," Renato said. Lupino just
How did I
stared
lose
at him.
my eye?
The moment
I know
the
that.
ship landed, Lupino leapt off the ship.
Oh, God. Where are you? Okay. Avoid the warlike fire spell. Will damage everyone in the area. Oh, yeah, what it feels like, baby. Alright. Feels good to win. Where's that taking us? Oh dear. Where are we now? Okay, we can't return.
Renato caught his breath. His joints still hurt, but he couldn't feel the poison in his system anymore. He'd let the armature slip out of his hands to save his friend Lupino. Of course he had to let Lupino take the core. The rebellion needed every man doing his duty. And the rabbit would be no good taking on an Imperial outpost, right?
I need to heal. Heal me! Oh dear, I am hurt. I did not realize. Fire? No, no fire. Aha! What's that?
A crafting bench. Renato wondered what he could make with it.
I could make a fire sword. Ah! Awesome. Hold, hold shift to activate magic sword. swords. Ooh. Consumes energy while active. You can switch between swords! Awesome. Okay, what about gems? What's going on here? Gem stocking. This is gem stocking menu. Here you can equip powerful gems that will give you equipment both for your offensive and defensive abilities. The gauntlet has 3 stocks. Gosh. Ooh. Each gem has 3 levels of effect. Okay, well I don't seem to have any gems. So that's poopy doopy. That's okay. I'll be back. Fire sword. So.
Oh, it was good to practice your moves, thought Renato. Keeps you limber.
So oh, that uses energy. That's not good. Cool. Whoa. What's that chest? I like that chest. Alright. Come on. Yeah. No! Oh. Damn it. What the? I'll get there. Oh god. Okay.
Renato took the outpost with a song in his heart. Soon, he was stuffing his sack with key messages from and to the fleet. One message caught his attention. A high priority order has been given by the Emperor himself to locate something called the Iblis Stone. It was somewhere on a
this sounds
desert
good,
island.
but there's gonna be a price to pay.
Renato had a bad feeling about this. Iblis was the name of one of the lost gods. If the Emperor was diverting ravens to search for it, maybe he should try to find it first. Then the far speaker toad chortled a new message. The observatory had been sacked by ravens. Lapino and all the scientists had been taken to the mountains. Why? Why had he trusted Lapino again? And now the Empire had the core.
Wait, is that
Renato
captured?
hailed the rebel base to warn them. But their far speaker didn't croak back. Was the base under attack too?
Let's just... why? It's disappointing. See, this is why we don't go into defense involved in this. It's like, because they're not dependable, even though I said he's gonna be dependable earlier. Okay, here to rescue him again. Blah blah blah, he will help us, and so on. Interesting, I don't know what the core of so, I guess.
Who knew what was going on at the base? But he knew what the ravens would do to Lapino if Renato didn't rescue him fast. What are old friends for, if not to need rescuing every few days?
Okay guys, so I think I'm going to conclude episode 1 here. I think we've just gotten a lot of footage so far. We've gone through some different choices, which are really cool. If you don't like any of the other choices that I didn't choose, I will go
felt
back.
a twinge of doubt.
But until then, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!